Did you know that majority of people that come abroad, that travel abroad to kind of settle, are poor? I think we've got it other way around. If you think about um, people back home, they actually assume for some reason that people that come here are kind of richer. And don't forget, if everything was going well, you wouldn't have made a journey abroad, leaving your family, leaving your circles to kind of come down. Majority of people that come down are poor, or coming to make different kind of living and different pastures. Now, obviously, there are people that were born here or born abroad, so obviously that's different. I'm talking about your average person. You know, hunger plays an active role. Hunger can play a very, very active role in shaping your life, shaping your lifestyle, shaping your life, what you do. If you've gone through poverty or you've had a very difficult childhood, it will shape your life. It will shape the kind of things you aspire to do, the amount of money you want to make. It also kind of shows the kind of investments that you want to do, you know. A lot of times people want to go and build houses there and everything. Apart from being told that house is like, the ultimate. I used to remember when you go to some family house and they have a big house with like a big car and then a picture of it on the wall and then have obviously Jesus next to it. And it always reminded me of what kind of things we're kind of aspiring to have, things we want to do. Building a house, for me, sounds like stability. 9 to 5 sounds like stability. That's why when majority of us come abroad, we want to do these kind of jobs. We want to kind of have the stability, the 9 to 5 roles, to kind of make sure that we don't go through the pain of the hunger that we've had in the past. And now I understand it. Now it makes sense. If you see people that are rich enough to kind of go, the richer ones at university, I'm not talking about the loan, people that borrowed loan to go, or going to school just to kind of make ends meet. I'm talking about someone that's rich enough, MPs, putting their things through school and everything. They're able to do subjects and able to kind of broaden their horizon because they pick subjects that can kind of broaden their scope because they know home is clear. They know when they finish they're going to get a job. Meanwhile, you go to university or you're searching for jobs, you don't even care what you enjoy or what you don't enjoy. All you just want is something that's going to bring you income. And in the end, it's detrimental. You know, I was speaking to a friend last time. Actually, I was speaking to a few people in recent times. And the amount of properties that they've accumulated back home, if they were to start again, or if they were to ask someone starting, that's someone's entire, like, their generational thing that will ever end. This person, a few people I've actually spoken to have multiple lands, 40 acres, 50 acres. I spoke to someone actually got 400 acres. Actually, he's back now anyway. But a few houses, 2 or 3 houses, farmland, and still can't go back. And the reason is because you don't want to get back to a point where you will lack, and so therefore you're accumulating as much as possible. You can end up doing a lot because a lot of people have done quite well. A lot of people have done, before they set off to kind of come abroad, if someone had told them what they've accumulated in 20 years or 30 years, they wouldn't have believed it, but they still can't go. I know someone that's got 1, 2, 3 houses, multiple shops, and still can't go back. And the reason is because, again, as I said, lack. You fear poverty. And I'm not saying you, I'm saying all of us. And that's part of the reason why we're still abroad. That's part of the reason why people are going to live here for 40 years and the children are not going to go back, because of that scarcity, of worrying that if they go back, one day it could finish. Now, I would like to turn on his head, right? Say you've started and you've got 2 or 3 properties, a couple farmlands and everything. Why don't you actually try, say that whatever hustle that you did to get you to this point, you can't be such a deadbeat. You've kind of managed to accumulate this thing. So let's just say you're starting life. Imagine that someone in Ghana was starting life with what you have right now. What would they do? And now the learning has to be that. What can you do with the bits that you've accumulated? What business, or what you can be fearless. In a way, you can be fearless because when you go back, you got a starting point, 2 or 3 houses, maybe you're looking at a hotel, we were talking about location a few days ago. I literally, it popped up on my feed how the woman was saying she's got properties far away and it's going to take a while to kind of do well. It's true, some of us didn't learn till later about location, but there's still funerals in every village. So you can turn it around and kind of use it for a guest house or Airbnb or something. I went to one, I think, where was it? It was like Kona or something like that. It's like excellent the way they had done it, and people were renting it. You understand? So what I'm trying to say is, now switch around, and wherever you have back home, if you don't have anything, then cut it loose, have something small, and then the trick is, or the thing is, can you try and replicate that back home? It's going to have to take a bit of fearlessness, and also understanding that whatever happened in the past, you had no control over. Maybe you had to use to walk for 1,000 miles to kind of go to school. Maybe you had to farm, whatever, blah, blah, everything. But it doesn't necessarily mean, which are all good things anyway. They kind of make you tough. If you weren't tough, you won't be here. You've had to change everything. Everyone everything, language, blah, blah. You have to use a bit of resilience that you've built from abroad and take it back home. And I think it could work anyway. So thinking that way, which I'm doing the same thing as well. Can you kind of, have a bit of in your ding life, that's how it's going to be. If you just want to just hide and do your 9 to 5 and everything, fine, it will cost you your time. All right, see you later.